Well, hello, hello. And I'm going to say welcome to this little short conversation in regards to just who you are as an American. What are you doing? What are you doing? And how are you doing it? Simply, it's critical that we all understand that we are just Americans. And what does that require? Well, I can tell you, my mother never, no, I don't think I grew up in that kind of atmosphere. But, as I grew up and got older, I realized that, the advocacy that needed to happen for me was me through my children. They too were going to be successful. As I am 66, living here in Viva Las Vegas. Yes, that's right, living in Vegas. And, I've been here for some time now. So I've gotten to see just how things go, how things are going. What is going on? And truly, don't have no viewers yet, and they don't share your lives, so it is what it is. It is up to you to make a decision on which area of your life will you choose to, you know, build out and act on, because we all have jobs to do, and it really is what are you doing in 2025 and what have you done? It's 2025, and it's difficult to go to those meetings and sit around people who don't really know anything about the requirements for public education, because there are just requirements under the state and under the civil rights. I mean, we don't have to continue to review where we are in 2025. I'm an American citizen. I volunteered for my country. I've served as a VISTA, a volunteer in service for America. Y'all just don't even understand. That's how I got through my children through high school, because I certainly needed the extra money, and that money doesn't count against you when you're volunteering because it's considered a stipend. Now, those stipends that are dished out here in Nevada, I don't even understand. Hello, hello. I can't see who's there, but I don't know how they get these stipends out the door. I do know that I tried to apply for a job to help people who are disabled navigate the system from transitional piece of public education to a job training piece. And the real deal is that it's difficult. They have all these, and it's unfortunate that so many people like us are employed, but it's an awesome thing when people like us are operating just and opening the doors. Open, open, welcome to America. That's right. Because if you know someone who can get you in the program, then you too can benefit. And there it is. As an American, how are you benefiting? And what are you doing? Because being an American is something that's awesome. When you travel, I know my sister knows this because she travels all the time. I don't necessarily like traveling, but I have traveled. I've been to Europe, and I've been to Italy, I've been to Yugoslavia, and when we went to Yugoslavia, it was the money exchange was so different. I mean, like, I had $300. Well, when I transitioned that money into the Yugoslavian currency, it was more than 12,000 of their dollars, and so I just got to spend the money any kind of way I wanted. And even when you went to Germany, you would have a higher rate of currency because the dollar was worth more then. Then that was way back when, way back in 1989, I believe. 1990 something. Yeah, it was 1990. But just understand, as an American, you have an obligation. Where's the obligation to? It's to you, your community. And, I want to make sure you guys are hearing me. Okay. Your community, you, people who look like you. You say, oh no, but my business doesn't. Say, I'm sorry about your business, but what is it that you do again? Because quite frankly, everything you do has to count for something. We're only here for such a short time. And I promise you, if you're not living the mission like you should be living, The universe doesn't bless you. Did you think you got a blessing? Promise to tell you. I got two baby daddies, and they are in an urn already. And one baby daddy, 1 foot in the grave. And it doesn't really matter because it matters. It should matter to him what he was able to give to his child. But understand that the universe blessed his child anyway, with or without him. Now let's just talk about America and this thing we call family. It's a family affair. Hey, it's a family. No, it is more than a family affair, as it is we, the American people. Well, I was broken. And I'm telling you, and you know that you're broken when you could sit there in front of a slot machine and put your whole $100 in there, recycle that $100 2 or 3 times, and that when it just recycles at one time, you don't have an opportunity to win it again. So you need to pay attention. We all need to pay attention to being suckered in because they know who you are. And then you're putting more money in the machine to try to get more money back, but the money you get back is not the money that you need to be taking with you. So I don't know. I am kind of broken, but I got Laura Hardman. Laura. There she is right there. And I sent it to her. And she know I'm online. Then cancel. There we go. Now we're back. So I'm surprised it didn't cut me off because I had to text her and let her know. I decided to talk about public education today. I'm just confused as to how come so many educated people, so many people that are wealthy, have money, are not talking about the least of us because maybe they feel that they're not their brother's keeper, but boo, you never were. But you should be the keeper of your own. And as we are Americans, what does it look like in America for the people who look like us? I'm just really wanting to understand. I mean, they said that they're investigating University of Las Vegas, UNLV, for racial discrimination. And I'm going to tell you, if you get there and you finally made it, you're not prepared. What more do you want them to do? Because they're not going to drop down to your level because they told you to level up a long time ago. So perhaps it is we in the community that have to do what? Understand the urgency. It is the fierce urgency of this moment in life. Why? Because, we all know what quality education looks like. We really do. And we all know that we've been caught up in some systems of oversight with limited people with limited perceptions. And as their perceptions are so, people don't have time. Oh, girl, what are you doing? And I'm saying, I'm watching what's going on. And I see it as insanity. I mean, I participated in helping Jamar Jefferson run for office, and I shared his information even when he went to Texas. But I'm saying, here in Nevada, I'm just concerned because it's the data, boo. It's the data that's not demonstrated to the public, especially to the black public. And as black people are not asking those questions, I'm here to ask those questions. I want to know how many children, you know, like the Biden-Harris administration just said, how many children born in the year of 2020 to 2020 would be prepared to enter into early start in 2022 or whatever it was. How many 3-year-olds? So let's go 20 back, 22, 21, 20, 2019. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Because when you look at the community and the people who look like you, your children are not prepared. And they have created bills and made addendums to bills in regards to them having the right to delay your start to education. But do you understand what they are collecting, the data in regards to you and your behavior and your inability to behave appropriately? And I'm saying, well, what is that appropriate listen? What does it look like? I'm confused because what is willful defiance? But I went to bat for this kid. He had over I think it was 300 pages of behavior issues, and he was in the eighth grade. But he wasn't really in the eighth grade because the grade he was in an SDC class, some communication handicap classroom at in Sacramento. I won't identify it, but just know he was in that classroom. And the teacher was calling the mom every day, and she didn't have a car, but she was getting her kid every single day. He would be forced to leave. Now I'm trying to understand what's going on, but this person seemed to believe that special education is for people who are limited and would always be limited. I said, "Oh no, boo! Everybody can learn. Did you not know everybody can learn? It matters what they learn, but it matters what they have access to learning." That's right. And so I had already been working with Sacramento City Unified School District and their special education department because they said my son was severely MR, but I don't know how that could have been because he graduated with a 101A, a laptop, and above proficient. And do I boast? Yes, because they said, first Kaiser wouldn't approve him for um, being in the spectrum or autistic, but these things are coming from the chemicals that we're exposed to while we're trying to survive and take care of our families. And I can say that perhaps Los Rios Community College wasn't fair to me, but the city of Sacramento certainly was because they put me on Social Security, and I was on Social Security since I was 38 years old. And just have been taken care of. And I'm still basically getting the same monies that I was receiving when I was pregnant and working for Los Rios Community College. And so it really doesn't matter because money isn't everything. Money really is so irrelevant, but it's relevant when you don't have it. Do you understand? I don't think people are understanding, but you see, there are people that are going through these disasters, right? And then there are people that are going to be having disastrous things happen to them as they cut their benefits and cut their services and cut their checks. So where is America? And it really, what do you, I can't think a whole lot about it because simply I'm not going to face those issues. But for someone who is homeless out there, understand they're harvesting our children, so they will take your baby from you here in Las Vegas if you are homeless and you can't demonstrate. I think they give you some time limit, but they don't play. They put these kids in foster care because they are harvesting them and planting seeds. And what can I say? Once you're in the system, think about it every day. As an American, who are you? And what is it that you're doing? As African Americans, I understand the concept of Martin, Medgar, Malcolm, and then Nipsey, and then every time, then why do we have to see things like George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery? Aren't we citizens? What do you do? Oh, y'all don't do no politics. Oh, is that right? How unfortunate that you don't understand. We pay the way, but we choose not to come to the table. And then what happened in Tennessee, well, I thought you all recognized Tennessee was the moment of awakening. But what was more, you know, outrageous is that we're all seeing what 2025 brought. And they put Donald back in the office, but you better understand. If it's out there for him to get, they're gonna get it. They're trying to reshape and remake America. And I thought America was great. I used to be on it's Noom Vibe now, but it used to be Wisdom, and I would like for someone to take an opportunity to try and redo that piece right there, the wisdom, the knowledge. There were people out there that had a lot to say, and you could follow them. But what do you do when people are so off task? Because they want to talk about their ability to manipulate others, and just how limited they are. Because truly, if you had a choice of colors, which one would you choose, my brother? If there was no day or night, which would you prefer to be right? You know what I'm saying? Those songs that stick in your head forever and a day are really real. But then you have to ask what happened to Prince and what happened to B.B. King and what happened to Martin They say he didn't die from the gunshot. They say, who knows anymore? What about Whitney? I mean, anytime money's involved, I'm just unsure about Angie Stone. Help me with this. Because the stories that are out there on TikTok, not on mainstream television, some people have to follow and not lead. Because it's a choice. And it has always been a choice. When you awaken in the morning, what you do is your choice. When you are confronted with issues, will you choose right or will you choose left? It's your choice, and it's going to be based on what you've been through. And then you can look back on people and places and issues and then ask yourself, what were you doing? Because we're going to all have to ask ourselves now, what is politics when you're mandated to participate in services that are mandated by law, that you could actually lose your children because you're not following the process? And I'm saying, well, what the hell? There is no process that you can automatically find shelter for your home. But people are freezing to death out there. Know this. This is America. But it makes a difference as to how you see yourself in living in America. Born in the USA. It's just real. And I can say welcome, but I can't see who's in the room. And, they have all these restrictions that are placed on individuals that they consider to be awakened or woke, the woke crew. And then your devices just don't operate the way that you understand that they should. But it's up to you to continue to do what? Sow seed so you can reap and benefit the harvest, because the harvest is yours. And life is only about what you're going to do to make it work. So I'll say so long for now. I'll say everybody that is African Americans need to look into this habitual disciplinary problem and read it out and tell me how it is so restrictive when it offers no solutions, and how it gives power and authority over your children over one person, the principal and a staff member. And in California, the children have so much more protections, but understand the protections are under the law, equal protection under the law, equal access. And I'm saying, so why such a disproportionality rate? Why such a disparity in access? And why is Nevada, these people say, they just don't have the data. What is the federal government going to do to them when they don't have the data? Well, I guess they'll find out, because they still don't have the data that demonstrates that we've had equal access and that we've had the same protections under the law as others. And all these games they play, it ain't macking. So you have to decide what it is you'll do in 2025. Will you be alive? Hey, y'all, have a blessed day, and I guess I'll catch you on the flip side. This is Darlene Anderson saying, peace out.